welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've been kind of busy, but I'm back. Welcome to Marxisms. And if you've never been here before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. Um, yeah, I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been doing this. I've been living a full life. I'm retired, but not sitting on my couch, wasting away. I'm exercising. And I'm fucking just barely got a walk in before it started raining. and working out, taking piano lessons, doing pretty good at that. Just started taking guitar lessons. Bought a new guitar. Now I have three. I just have to learn how to play them. But yeah, so I've been busy. I'm finding it really hard to get bored. I'm looking for boredom and I'm not finding it. I'm busy living a full life. So anyway, that's where I've been. Dancing, dance lessons, stuff like that. I got a lot of stuff going on. It's been really good. Anyway, so I want to talk about something that's been all over the news. Right here, this photo is becoming quite famous. I've known this photo for a number of years now. When my friend, the guy on the right, Bajun Mavalwalla Jr., Bajun R. Mavalwalla Jr., posted it on his Facebook page. And that next to him is his son. And believe this is Bagram Air Base but this is definitely Afghanistan. I think it's Bagram Air Base, but anyway, I could be wrong on that. I asked him at one point, but didn't. I don't remember. Anyway, so both of these gentlemen are Afghan vets. Um, the one on the right, the older one, I went to school with him. I've known him since sixth grade. We were in scouts together. We graduated from high school together, and we've stayed in touch. We haven't always been on the same side of politics, but we've remained friends, and we've learned things from each other. He used to say, "Wow, that's it." People get mad because they don't want, oh, you should get these people off your page. And he's like, "No, I learned stuff from some of them. I've learned stuff from him, and he's told me he's learned stuff from me, and that's the way it's supposed to work." That's America right there. Anyway, we are solidly on the same page now with things that are going on in the world. Both of us are against fascism and authoritarianism, and we are against this Gestapo secret police of Trump's, uh, ICE, who arrested the FBI arrested his son. I'm not a big fan of the FBI either. I never have been. But so let's get into it. So basically, what happened was, I think it was Ben Stuckert, the former city council member in Spokane, uh, called for a protest against ICE, who had detained a couple of gentlemen who were here legally. Like the majority of the people that are being detained and arrested without due process by this fascist regime of Donald J. Trump's, by his Gestapo, ICE. They are now, thanks to the big, beautiful bag of bullshit that they passed a few months ago, they are now they're better funded than the Russian military. So they've dropped all of their guidelines for hiring. The only thing you need to be to get hired by ICE now is to be loyal to Trump, not the Constitution, not to America, but to Trump. So their loyalty is to Trump. They're the secret police. They don't show their badges. They don't wear badges. They wear masks to hide their faces because that's what criminals do. And they just snatch you off the streets. I'll tell you right now. I mean, if an ICE agent, if I'm driving down the road and some thug says police on his flak vest, on his body armor, and no badge, and doesn't identify himself, I'm not getting in the. I'm going to fight him. I'm not going to get in the van with him. I don't. It could be anybody. You don't know that it's a police officer. And I definitely wouldn't go in even if I did know it was ICE. First of all, I was born here. In fact, my family, I've said this before on the show, goes back to the 1600s. I've probably been here longer than most of those sons of bitches in the masks, the Gestapo. I don't know why they just don't wear brown shirts and black boots, because it's what they are. They're the fucking Gestapo. It's just that simple. Um, so anyway, he gets Bajun the second. Okay, let's get through this. Okay, so Bajun Jr., Bajun Mavalwalla Jr. is the man on the right, and he is the older one of the two in this photo. Bajun D Mavalwalla the second is the one on the left, the younger one, and he is the son of Bajun, the one on the right. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to call Bajun um, the senior, the older one. I'm going to call him Bajun, and I'm going to call the younger one Beiji. Now, Beiji was a nickname that we called Bajun back in Scouts and in school. I called him all through school, and it's funny, when when I first was Facebook friends with him, I'd call him Beiji, and people go, Beiji, what's that? I'm like, well, that's what I always called him. I never called him anything but Beiji. So that's the way that goes. Anyway, so but now they call Bajin the third or second. They call him Beiji because he's the younger one. So now he's Beiji. So we'll call him Beiji, and we'll call Bajin Senior Bajin. So okay, so I don't know what the rank of Junior is, but Bajin Malvawala, the elder one here, was, I think, a second lieutenant. So he was an officer. He was career. He spent 26 years in the I think the National Guard. He spent 7 years as a recruiter. I think he's a qualified intelligence officer. He also trained to be an MP before he went to Iraq. He did a couple of tours. And he went to language school too, Russian language school. So it's, him and my son have a little bit in common there. They've actually spoken on the phone. I don't know if they've actually met in person, but they've spoken on the phone a couple of times, because my son went in the army. But my son's a linguist, and he studies Russian, so they would probably get along great. In fact, I know they would. Anyway, they're both really smart too. Bajan is a really smart guy. My son is really smart too. My son's way smarter than I am, but Bajan is a really smart guy. And I always kind of feel sometimes a little inadequate, because I think I'm pretty smart, but I think he's smarter than me. Anyway, he's a really good person. See, now his God, I want to say it was his I was looking for it, but I can't find it. But I think his grandmother, I believe, was like Gandhi's goddaughter or something like that, or his or grandfather. I can't remember the situation, but one of his family members was good friends with Gandhi, and the Gandhi tradition in this Mavalwala family is very important. Peaceful protest. And nonviolence. I know they're all in the military, but Gandhi also did not believe in the military. I mean, when he was um, India had their military and stuff like that, and that's fine. But he believed in peaceful protests when it came to, like the British and stuff like that. He knew that was the only way to really get the world's attention. It's important. I mean, it's good. I mean, I advocate for that on this channel. I believe in peaceful protest. Unfortunately, authoritarianism really never goes away peacefully, and it doesn't go away with a vote either. So that's a little concerning to me. I think sometimes there does actually come a time when you kind of have to, and Bajan believes this too. I mean, he went to Afghanistan to fight terrorism. That was, both of them did. That's what they did. These people, they attacked us, and so they felt, oh well, they're doing these horrible things in this country, the Taliban and whatnot, and they're gonna, go with their country and go fight. I mean, true believers. I mean, they Bajin, um, the senior, he still believes in the United States Army and stuff like that. I'm not sure how Beiji feels. It's not my place uh, to even say. I've not spoken to him in a while. I do know him as well. He helped me move at one point, and I happen to know him as a really decent guy. And I also helped him. He was building a tiny home, and I donated my table saw to him, and I helped him with this water heater. It's a solar water heater that he purchased and he was putting together, and I helped him put it together. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But he's a really good guy. He's just I really like him, and I was kind of advising him on how to do flashing and stuff like that. So that was kind of a good thing. But anyway, so they go to he answered a Reddit post where they were going to go protest against these gentlemen who were here legally and were detained by ICE. This is what ICE is doing. They're the Gestapo. They're just picking people up who are brown, and um, they've picked up a lot of people who legal were American citizens. I mean, just because they were of Mexican descent or El Salvadoran descent or whatever. I mean, Trump brags about deporting people with visas. Here, I'm going to show you this. This is a letter I get. Can you believe it, Mark? That's how many visa holders are in this country. Oh my God, how horrible. 55 million visa holders, 55 million people who came here legally. Okay, what's the problem with this? Even without including the ones I've revoked. In other words, he's already revoked a bunch of them. So a bunch of legal citizens, he's already revoked their visas. So this is what he thinks. He wants to just get rid of people that came to this country. Who does he want? He wants people that are white. He wants people that are white. He wants people that are rich. He was just saying the other day that he wants to have what he calls a gold, instead of a green card, a gold card, and you have to pay $5 million to get it. And he's going to, we're going to bring all these people in here that are rich. So that's all we need. And first of all, you're not going to get too many. You're going to get the wrong kind of people that way. I mean, we want people that are going to work. Not a bunch of slacker fucking millionaires and billionaires like we already have who don't pay their fair share. So anyway, he goes down to this protest to peacefully protest. Ben Stuckert, he believed that because other people had protested against other people that were here legally, it ended up making a difference. And those people were actually ended up released, at least in a couple of instances. So he was hoping that would be the case here. He was quite wrong. They went down there, and some of them blocked the entrance. I know Ben Stuckert blocked the truck, sat in front of the truck. A bunch of these guys, there was a bunch of people arrested that day. Some of them, I think, did commit violent acts. There were a few of them, but not very many. There's a couple of spray painted windows of ICE vehicles and maybe some broken windows. But I happen to know that most of them were peaceful, as it always is. Now, Bajin was shot in the back with a rubber bullet during this protest, which means that he was facing away. And when you're facing away from a police officer, that means you're not a threat. But they shot him anyway. They shot him because they're dicks. That's all. At one point, one of the agents, one of these masked, presumably agents, I don't know, or Proud Boys, or both, who knows, tried to grab him and drag him into the compound. And some of the reports are, he scuffled with an ICE agent. Well, no. The agent violently grabbed him and tried to drag him into the compound so he could do God knows what to him. And he wriggled away from him. Not violently, he just wriggled away. He didn't touch the guy, he didn't assault the guy. The guy touched him, but he just wriggled away from the guy and then moved away. And then I don't know at what point they shot him with a rubber bullet or a pepper ball or something. I've seen the welt that he had from it. It isn't pretty. So this is the kind of thing they're doing to American citizens. So they're saying that they crossed the line into violence against federal agents. That's bullshit. That didn't happen. The only ones that were violent were the cops, as usual. Have I said this before? Go back and look at my video on police racism and violence in this country. They go out to start violence. ICE is no different. ICE is actually worse. They're just a bunch of thugs. I don't know if they have any kind of training. I think they're now. I'm hearing that they don't even have. The only qualification you need is to be loyal to Trump. Uh, that's called dictatorship, folks. I hate to tell you. So anyway, they're charging him with. They've charged him with conspiracy to commit or to hurt. What was it? Conspiracy to hurt federal agents, which is that's ridiculous. First of all, what conspiracy? You went to a protest. So are they trying to say now that if you go to a protest, which they could say is conspiracy because, I belong to a group called Indivisible, and what happens? They put out a post. Hey, we're going to go meet at the park and protest. Like the No Kings rally and the one we just had a couple of weeks ago, which I think are pretty vanilla. So does that make me a part of a conspiracy because a group of us got together and said, well, we're going to go protest these illegal Trump activities? Well, that's what a protest is, and that's not conspiracy. Conspiracy is when you conspire to do something to break the law. What we're doing is we're conspiring to stop them from breaking the law, and that's legit. We're not out there to break laws. We're not out there. Neither was Mr. Mavalwalla. He was out there to peacefully protest something that's being done illegally to other people. If that's what they're going to say every time somebody goes out and tries to stop this government from their illegal activities, we're all screwed. I guess stay in your home with your head in the ground. I mean, I'm not going to do that. That's wrong. I mean, what is it that the Republicans were telling us for a million years now? Resistance to tyranny, or resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. Resistance to tyranny is patriotism. Yeah, this is tyranny. Those two men that they were moving that night, they were detained illegally because they were here legally. They were not illegal aliens. They were here under legal terms by the U.S. and they came here legally, whether this administration likes it or not. See, they want to revoke visas. Forget the fact that they came here legally. They don't care about that. They want to revoke visas of people that came here legally. They're arresting people in courts. They're going to court for their court hearings because that's what happens when you come here under visas and green cards and things like that. You have to go to court and you have to show that, oh, I'm doing this and that. And when you do that, you're doing that in good faith. And when you have a reasonable expectation to be treated decently. And certainly constitutionally. I mean, anybody that's in this country, even if you're illegal, you have a right to due process. A lot of people try to tell me, oh, well, they don't have any rights. Well, yeah, they do. That's the whole point of the Constitution. That's exactly what our founders wanted. And what our founders did not want was to see troops in the streets. They were against standing armies. They didn't even want to have an army. They didn't want to have a military. They didn't want to see that. They wanted to have people walk around peacefully and not have a problem with the government, like the Brits were doing. See, that's what the British were doing. They were marching the streets with their militaries and keeping people in order. We didn't like that. Now all of a sudden, those very same people that just hold the founding fathers on a pedestal in the Constitution, They just don't seem to care about it. They never did. Got news for you. They never cared about it. They were just using the Constitution to get their political ends, to their political ends. That's all. And now that they have their way, they don't need the Constitution anymore. They don't need the law. They don't care about that. Trump doesn't care about the law. I mean, he's a 34-time felon. He's a accused rapist. An accused pedophile. There have been young girls that accused him of raping him at 13 years old. I mean, this guy's a freaking creep, you know? And the women that support this guy, what is wrong with you? There is something seriously the matter with a woman that defends a rapist and a pedophile. I mean, what the hell are you thinking? You vote for this guy? You're trash. It's like, that's ridiculous. So anyway, I digress. So, this kid, I call him a kid because I'm old AF, as the kids say. He's an Afghan vet, as we see here. He's with his dad in Afghanistan, and he saw action there. He was not a one of the things Bajun wants everybody to know is Bajun Senior. He was not a Green Beret. He was. I told you what some of his jobs were. He did work with Special Forces and was a. I think he was Special Forces, not a Green Beret though, because there's others. And his son actually wasn't even in the infantry, but he was a. Let's see, I got that right here. Let's see. He was not Special Forces, nor was he in the infantry. He was assigned to a force protection to units in Kandahar, where his team intercepted and monitored threat radio communications, which is what he did. And being, working shoulder to shoulder with these guys in the field, he did see action, and he was actually involved in there was a IED that went off. He luckily was not injured. In fact, none of the family members, they were all lucky enough not to be injured. And in fact, the one who owns the house, if you've seen the video, that Bajun actually took the video, the first voice you hear, a lot of people have kind of laughed at this. Let's see, what does Bajun say about that? That is Caitlin Gaston. She is the she's the partner of Bajun D. Mavalwalla II, the younger, and they were just moving into a house together that day. And but she wants everybody to know that was her on the video that says something about the warrant and this is my house. Yeah, that's his girlfriend. So anyway, there will be people that have a problem with that, but fuck you. You're a bigot. Anyway, but she was a combat medic, and she apparently saw more action than both of them. Anyway, I'm not sure where they met. They may have met in Afghanistan, but so anyway, after the war, we had this problem of there were people still there, and we didn't get everybody out, and they were under threat by the Taliban, and young Bajun went over there to get people out. He was so good at it that he had people contacting him and saying, "Hey, can you get so and so out?" And I think he ended up getting about 40 people out. He organized, I believe, 20 safe houses, and raised about $130,000 or something like that. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but it was a lot of money. He did this on his own time, and he risked his life to do this to help people. How many of these MAGA SOBs can say that they have that kind of courage? This young man is an American hero. He's a war hero, and he's also just a hero of humanity. Bajun is the same way. He's just a really good guy. The whole family is. They're all very nice. I know the mother too. Like I said, I was in Scouts with him and I grew up with him. He knows my mom. I know his mom. I've been to their house. You know, Bajan always says, "Oh, I really liked your mom." It's kind of funny because she'd drive us. I think she drove us to like scout camp one time, and Bajan was in the car with us. But it's just they're a very good family, and they live that whole Gandhi, peaceful protest, not just peaceful, but non-violent. That is their motto. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of bullshit that's going on here. But the truth is, they weren't arrested the day of the protest. They were arrested like a couple months later, and they were arrested for specific reasons. Bajan, Beji was arrested because of who his partner is. He was arrested because of what his last name is. He was arrested because he wears a ponytail now, and he's politically liberal, and he is being targeted and scapegoated by this fascist regime under Donald J. Trump. And they picked specifically the 9 people that they picked. The majority of them are dark skinned. One of them, of course, is a city council member. And then I think one of them is a Native American. Of course, Bajan is Indian, East Indian, not Native American. I think he's actually Native American too. I think his mom was Cherokee. Not full Cherokee, but had some Cherokee blood, as I recall. Anyway, I could be wrong. I have to ask Bajan about that. But anyway, they and then so of the 9 people that were arrested, I think the majority of them were, dark skin. There was something about all of them. Obviously, one of them was a Democratic council member. So right there. So this is all politically motivated. It's racially motivated. They're scapegoating these people. That is what fascists do. Look how the fascists are scapegoating homosexuals, and they're saying, "Oh, we're doing this to protect our kids." When 33% of all sexual assaults that happen outside of the home are done by Christians in a Christian church setting, and less than 3% are by anybody who is openly homosexual. So homosexuals and trans are not the threat to your children. Christians are. And that's a fact. And it's not just the Catholic Church. It's across the board. And I learned this going to a pastoral school. I was studying I wanted to be a pastor at one point when I was going to this particular church. I am currently not a Christian, but I was trying to be a Christian for a while. I don't believe that Jesus is our Savior. I'd never really been able to wrap my mind around that, but I was just hoping to have some kind of, come to Jesus moment, so to speak, I guess. Yeah, didn't happen. Intellect, science, and common sense prevailed. So, but anyway, this is not some statistic I learned from some homosexual group or anything like that. I learned this in a Christian church because I had to take classes, because we deal with kids, and so they, they did these safety classes on, and that was one of the things that came up. I was astonished. I knew it was high. I did not know it was that high. So this is definite scapegoating. This is what they do. This is what fascists do. It's what Hitler did. It's what Mussolini did. And it's what Trump is doing. He is right along that authoritarian line where they will scapegoat people. They're scapegoating Hispanics. They're scapegoating this young man and these other people involved in this case, the Spokane Nine, they're called. This is just absolute bullshit. This shouldn't be happening in America, but it's been happening in America forever, so I don't know why it would be any different now. I have people telling me, it's like, "Oh, it'd be great to go back to the 50s. It was such a wonderful time." And I go, "Yeah, that's because you're white." It's like, try being black and be in the 50s. It wasn't that great. So this country's always had a lot of racism and a lot of racists. I've dealt with that in other videos. I'm not going to go into it too much here, but this what's going on now is racism, and it's scapegoating, and it's disgusting, and it's un-American. Well, unfortunately, it's kind of American, but it should be un-American. Um, yeah, it needs to stop. Anyway, hopefully, I will have Bajan on here in the near future. I spoke to him the other day, and like I said, I don't know if I said this already, but I had already did a video with him, but because of my technical expertise, lack of expertise, it got screwed up. I ended up having this echo in there, and it was just awful. But his end was great. But, me asking him questions and stuff, I mean, I could have gone through and edited all that out, and I thought about doing that and just like dubbing over it or something like that. But then he kind of went radio silent. He was like, "Well, they were asking, his family was asking him not to do anymore." And so out of respect, I didn't do that. I just left it alone. But he's doing interviews now, and he told me the other day that he would get in touch with me, and we'll set a date and we'll do an interview. So let's hope that happens. I really want to. I consider Bajan a very good friend, and I really want to help him. And I told him if I make any money, please, if it like goes viral or something like that, and I make a bunch of money, that after taxes, of course, I got to pay my taxes. I will take out the tax, and I will donate 100% of the stuff that's not taxed. That I will donate 100% of my profit for this video to um, his defense fund. It's going to cost him a lot of money. So I've already donated a little bit, but I only have so much to donate. I'm going to try to donate again in the future. I've been passing it around. Members of my family have donated. Um, and I'm going to, I mean, if I make money on this video, I'll do the same thing. This one, because if I'm talking about him in a video, I'm going to donate that money to their defense if I make any money on it. So pass it around. Let's try to get this guy some money. I make that as a solemn vow. I will donate 100% of the profits. I will have to pay the tax on it, so I will set aside 22% and whatever to the state and state tax, and I will donate the rest to his defense fund. That's a promise. Anyway, here we are. Peace.